Sophisticated buyers do not focus on the investment. What triggers a buyer from someone who is sophisticated is the urgency level of solving their problem or achieving a goal, and in them assuming and believing that you have that solution. That is how a sophisticated buyer invests. It's, I have a problem, looks like you have the solution, let's go. That's a sophisticated buyer. A broke buyer is going to make decisions based on their operating financial reality today. Meaning, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Oh my God, I'm stressed. Oh my God, I'm broke. Oh my God, I have no money. Oh my God, this is such a big investment. Oh my God, I can't do it. The first thing that I want to say, the way that I operate when I'm qualifying leads, the very first thing that I think is really important for you guys to understand is my mindset. So I operate out of this assumption, and I know we say don't make too many assumptions, but I do make this one assumption. I operate out of the assumption that when I am qualifying somebody, so triage, application, proximity, back and forth conversation, when I am qualifying somebody and having a qualifying conversation, I'm going to go into that conversation with the assumption that this person can afford to invest in my program. I'm just going to assume that we're having this business conversation because you can afford to invest in a solution. Otherwise, you wouldn't be talking to me. You wouldn't be on a call with me or in a chat. You wouldn't be filling out my applications. I'm going to assume that if you could not afford to do these things, you wouldn't be doing these things. That's my assumption. Doesn't mean it's always true, but it's an intention, because you can go into your sales conversations or your qualifying conversations with two mindsets. This person's broke, probably can't afford it. Oh my God, my prices, blah, 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 blah. Or we could just assume we're having this business conversation because you're looking for a solution. So I'll assume you can afford to invest in that. It's more of an intention, but it is one that I set. Now, sophisticated buyers, this is where I kind of want to pivot some thought process and some mindset here. Sophisticated buyers do not focus on the investment. What triggers a buyer from someone who is sophisticated is the urgency level of solving their problem or achieving a goal, and in them assuming and believing that you have that solution. That is how a sophisticated buyer invests. It's, I have a problem, looks like you have the solution, let's go. That's a sophisticated buyer. A broke buyer is going to make decisions based on their operating financial reality today. Meaning, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Oh my God, I'm stressed. Oh my God, I'm broke. Oh my God, I have no money. Oh my God, this is such a big investment. Oh my God, I can't do it. What I want you guys to understand is there's two different types of people in your market. We have the broke buyer and we have a sophisticated buyer. And these are two different operating realities. And that's the piece I want you guys to understand. Everyone is not broke. Everybody's not financially in hardship. Everyone is not financially struggling. And not everybody makes investments based on their financial situation. That's not what triggers. Like, I don't make an investment in a mentor based on, do I have the money to do this? It is, do they have the solution? Do I want to solve this problem or attain that goal? And do I believe this person can help me? If I can say yes to all of that, I'll figure it out. I'm a sophisticated buyer. I'm an established business owner. I will figure it out because it's something that I feel is important to me. It's a priority. And I believe this person can help me get there. That is the mentality of a sophisticated buyer. When you guys are talking to people that are sort of like negative, or their energy's really low, or they're complaining and whining and they're making excuses, and maybe they have bad things to say about previous investments, or maybe they're like, I don't have very much money. I want you to understand that's not anything to do with you. That is not a reflection of you. You're in the wrong room talking to the wrong people. What you're doing is you're talking to a non-sophisticated buyer. So someone who's not sophisticated in their buying decisions. I think these are important to understand because you're going to have these two types of conversations and you'll know really quickly just based on their energy and the way that they're answering you, the language that they're using, you'll know really quick. Sophisticated buyer, broke buyer. You'll know really, really fast. Okay. I think it's important to understand those distinctions. Now, that's my mentality going into the conversations. Any conversation I'm having with anybody, that's kind of my thought process. What I want to do is get into some of the nuances of this. Okay. One thing that's really important when you guys are qualifying people and you're having these triage chats, or you're getting on calls with people, or people are filling out applications, they're raising their hand and expressing interest in working with you, it's going to be important that you guys are qualifying for more than then do you have the problem and the money to solve it? Those two things alone, that is not qualifying. That's what I call sloppy qualifying. It's not efficient. It is not enough that they have the problem and then the money to solve it. Those two things all by themselves does not qualify someone to work with you. It does not qualify someone to be in the room. It does not qualify someone to do the work. It does not qualify someone to be who they need to be to get the result. Those two things all by themselves are not enough. So if you're having conversations and you're like, I don't get it. They have the problem. They have it. And they have the money to invest, but they're not doing it. Or whatever the thing is, I want you guys to understand those two things are not enough to say you qualify. I can absolutely help you. And it's not going to get them over the finish line. Okay. So we want to understand that. You have to make sure that the people that you're talking to and that you're qualifying, and again, when I say qualifying, you're giving your time. Time is money. You're giving your time and your energy and your knowledge and expertise to sit in conversations with these people. We have to be looking at who we're doing that with. And when you're qualifying, you have to make sure that someone is also committed to doing the work to solve the problem. So your buyer has to have, number one, problem awareness. If you find yourself having to almost convince someone they have a problem, or you're like, you're not getting it, or you don't see it, or you don't recognize, they don't have problem awareness. They're not aware of their problem, or they're in denial of their problem. Now, I don't look at it as my responsibility to help you get to a place where you start to see your problem. You kind of have to get to a place where, oof, this is a problem, right? That's your job. So if you're in qualifying conversations and you're finding yourself sort of like convincing or trying to get someone there or prove it or show them and like, oh, come on, I have this solution. I can help you. Like if you feel like you're almost cheerleading like that, take a step back for a second. You can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. If they're not aware of their problem, you're not getting their credit card today. So the best thing is to release, bless and release, and put them back into your nurture process where they can be plugged into your content that's going to help them become more problem aware. Your job isn't like, here, let me give you my time today and let me try to get you there. That's not your job and they're not paying you for that. Okay, so we're not doing that in these qualifying chats. The second is they need to be solution aware. They can't buy your solution if they don't think they have a problem, right? Like no one's going to be like, here, let me give you my credit card and pay you thousands of dollars for a problem I don't think I have, or a problem I'm not even aware that I have. It's not going to happen. Can you guys see how that would never produce a sale? No one is giving you a credit card and paying for something they don't believe they have a problem with. So solution awareness is not only them understanding I have a problem and it's really risky if I don't solve it. Like it's actually riskier to stay in status quo than it is to make the investment and solve this problem. Number one, they need to feel that way. And then number two, they have to believe that you have what they need. They have to believe, oh, you've got the path. You have the way. You have what I'm looking for. You have what I'm missing. You have what I need. You have the solution. They have to believe that. Otherwise, you're convincing them. And what's going to happen is they're going to say, well, why you over these other two people? Or why you over what I'm doing here? Ooh, your price is so much higher than the other person. Now all of a sudden they're comparing you and you're like, what the heck is going on here?